Football time on the SportsMax zone now. The first round of CONCACAF World Cup qualifying action continued over the weekend. Now let's have a look at how things are shaping up. Antigua and Barbuda, the Bena boys, and El Salvador share the Group A lead with 4 points. Antigua's latest result, a 3-0 win over the US Virgin Islands, while El Salvador were held 1-1 by Montserrat. In Group B, Suriname blanked Aruba 6-0 for their second win from as many games, while a short while ago, Canada, up against the Cayman Islands, were leading by 4-0 over the Cayman Islands, and they are set to join Suriname atop the standings on 6 points. I must say that in Saturday's fixtures, all the losers failed to score. Every single losing team failed to score a goal. In Group C, Curacao and Guatemala also went 2 from 2 with wins over Cuba and the British Virgin Islands respectively. The Dominican Republic and Panama also have perfect records after 2 games in Group D. Domrep slammed Anguilla 6-0, while Panama edged Dominica by 2-1. Nicaragua had the largest margin of victory on the weekend, 7-0 over the Turks and Caicos Islands to go top of Group E, while St. Kitts and Nevis blanked the Bahamas by 4-0 to go top of Group F. They lead Trinidad and Tobago, who were held 1-1 by Puerto Rico. The winners of each group will advance to a playoff round of 6, with the 3 winners in home and away fixtures to join Mexico, the USA, Costa Rica, Jamaica, Honduras in the final round of 8. The top 3 teams, of course, will then gain automatic berth to the 2022 FIFA World Cup, with a 4th place team progressing to an intercontinental playoff. George and Mariah, what caught your eye over the weekend and the latest set of fixtures?
Well, for me, I looked at the Trinidad and Tobago match versus, of course, Puerto Rico. I felt as if, coming into the match, Trinidad and Tobago should have secured all 3 points because, of course, Puerto Rico, they're ranked lower than us when it comes to the standings, as well as they only got their coach about 4 weeks before the actual match. So I felt like this should have been a walk in the park. If it's one game that they would have won to secure all 3 points. But, I'm happy to see Jovan Jones. He missed a penalty in the first match, so he was able to find back his footing, of course, to give us that 1-0 lead, and then Puerto Rico equalizing. But I heard Terry Fennick from the sidelines, and he was really upset with them, screaming at the Trinidad and Tobago players, cheering them on, doing what he had to do as a coach. He would have a tongue lashing for those boys after that performance.
There was a detailed critique of there was a critique of the team published today in the Trinidad and Tobago press by coming from the pen of Keith Luke-Lloyd, the former technical chairman of the TTFA, talking about the lack of organization, the lack of a press. He said he wasn't sure where TNT wanted to win possession, which segment of the field they wanted to win possession in, which was a very good observation, because I noticed that myself as I looked at the game. And he also criticized that the deployment of some players in positions that weren't suited to their skill set, which I also saw as a problem. All in all, any TNT team that draws with Puerto Rico is a disappointing result for TNT. We know that TNT are not in a good spell now, but even so, you'd expect a select TNT 11 to do better against the Puerto Rico team. I also looked at the result, Lance, Mariah, Turks and Caicos, because that's where the Jamaican Omar Edwards is coaching, along with some other Jamaican colleagues working on that project. And 7-0 at the hands of Nicaragua may seem like a very, very poor performance by Turks and Caicos. What is true is that they were overpowered. I expect Nicaragua to be fighting for the place, for one of the places out of this bunch to progress to the next level. And maybe it is that Omar Edwards, I haven't seen a quote from him, will reconcile and say, look, we got battered by the strongest team by far in the group. That will not determine our fate in this competition. Let's go and see what we can do against the other team. So that was a very, very difficult result for Omar Edwards to have to reconcile with the 7-0 battering at the hands of the Central Americans.
Yeah, 2 things stood out for me. The Montserrat result. I've been talking on the show many times about the improvement of Montserrat. 1-1 with El Salvador. Now, Montserrat have lost only 2 of their last 10 games in internationals, and their victories in recent years have included wins over the Dominican Republic and St. Lucia and so on. We're talking about a team that up to a few years ago were ranked 201, 202 in FIFA, and they have been showing a lot of improvement. Congrats to Montserrat. And Antigua and Barbuda's 36-year-old striker Peter Byers, he got a goal on the weekend. He's 40-plus international goals. Now, I thought he had retired. Only Derek Prettyboy Edwards has scored more goals for Antigua and Barbuda than Big Pete has. And congrats to the 36-year-old for still being on the scoring sheet for Antigua and Barbuda. Set of matches to come up on Tuesday in the CONCACAF World Cup qualifiers. Let's have a look at them now. Guyana Smarting from their 3-0 loss to T&C, they'll be facing the Bahamas. Belize against the Turks and Caicos Islands. St. Vincent and the Grenadines also lost heavily in their opening match. They face the British Virgin Islands. US Virgin Islands against Grenada. Barbados, they'll be up against Antigua. Bermuda will be taking on Aruba in Tuesday's fixtures of the CONCACAF World Cup Qualifying. We go to break with the Olympic Corner.
Born instead by the disappointed spectators, including 68,000 in the US. Additional fights over hotel payments are still brewing amid what could be a complex and ugly unwinding. Millions of dollars in administrative costs are caught up in the fight between the Tokyo Organizing Committee and the authorized ticket resellers. These authorized ticket resellers, usually appointed by national Olympic committees, are allowed to charge a 20% handling fee on tickets. Over the weekend, Coast Sport, the ATR for the United States and other territories and countries, said in a letter to ticket holders that it would not refund the handling fee, but would refund the face value of the ticket and the shipping fees. The New Jersey-based Coast Sport added that it would not receive refunds from the organizers until the third quarter of this year and could not start paying refunds until then. Coast Sport also requested that purchasers apply for refunds almost immediately, setting a deadline of April 9 to submit the required document, and failure to meet this deadline will jeopardize their refund. That's it for today's Olympic Corner. Remember to watch the SportsMax Zone for your daily Olympic updates.